Hey yo everybody, it's Johnny5 Alive here, and welcome back to another episode of Coaster Spotlight. Today we're going to be looking at Rough Rock Mine Train, created by one of our Discord builders, master builders, Stevenn, and here they say, hey yo Channel 5 and welcome to Rough Rock Valley. This park is inspired by Big Thunder Mountain, coasters across the various Disney theme parks. However, with the location inspired by the Sonora Desert in Arizona, Mexico, what I love about this is there are very unique dual loading stations for high capacity. Also, the opportunity to have a variation of train. As you can see, one of the stations will load the Canyon Runner trains and the other will load the swinging Gold Fever trains. Makes it super fun to view the coasters. Oh, it all makes sense now. That was a big talking point of mine and a big curiosity of mine, and there it is. I was like, there are so many trains running on this. How did they do this? And they continue to say, anyways, happy riding. Feel free to take your time too. There isn't too much to explore other than the views of the ride itself. Riding views are preferably daytime, but nighttime is available. The Canyon Runner second car guest facing, and the first car guest facing. Okay, so yeah, we'll figure this out. Wow, this is really cool. As you can see from the B-roll, there's a lot of trains running on this simultaneously, and I guess there are what appears to be two coasters making up this concoction of nuttiness. And if I'm checking correctly, one of them has 5 trains running and the other has 5 trains running. So there are in fact 10 trains on this one circuit. That to me is a first. A never been done before 10 train mine train coaster. That gets me excited. So why don't we jump in and take a closer look. Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Rough Rock Mine Train mini park area. It is looking just phenomenal. I saw this in the inbox, took a quick look, and the aesthetic of it all, the dry, arid scene with the pixel perfect rock work, it just looks so captivating. I love a good mine train coaster, especially when it's done well. To my surprise, we open this up, and not only is it done well, it's doing something innovative and new that's never been done before by having 10 trains alternating between 2 types of trains, all running on one continuous circuit without any of them crashing or having interference with one another. That is freaking brilliant in my opinion. Absolutely brilliant. And it has a gorgeous aesthetic. I love everything that I see so far, and I'm already wishing and wanting more. Okay. Swinging and non-swinging. We'll start with the non-swinging and then make our way to the swinging, because then we can add something to the experience, right? That's pretty cool. And that's also an interesting talking point, is that if they're both on the same track, but one swings and one doesn't swing, both of them offer completely different experiences while also maintaining the same track. I definitely don't want to jump queue here, because I think it's like merged with the other queue. So I don't want to accidentally jump over a railing. I can jump over this one. Yeah, I can jump over this one and get on the wrong coaster. My intention was to go non-swinging first, and there's a lot of guests in this park. Holy good googly moogly. All right. Okay, so we're going up the right side. Let's see how this works here. So this is the non-swinging, and it's the one that has the train on front. And when I first opened this park up, I was like, wait a second, I didn't know you could like customize if it had the train on the front or not. I was like, how did they get the buckets to follow separately? So it's almost like this has detached itself from the train, and you know, it's like, yeah, it's like separated, but this one swings and the other one doesn't. This is brilliant. This is brilliant, Stevenn. I bless your face. I love this. I am absolutely enthralled about this. Okay, here's the Rough Rock Mine Train non-swinging version. And there's a look at the stats. 1.3 kilometers in length, 63 miles per hour is the fastest. 8 airtime counts on this bad boy. And I'm assuming the stats on the other one are going to be very similar. There's a take a look at them there. Very similar, but instead it's swinging. So we want to get on this one. So they asked me to do guest facing, but swing it around. I'll try this out. I guess. Put reshade back on. Yeah, but this is an interesting view perspective for me, but I will try my own. I'm just gonna do this one for the sake of the creator, and that's what they wish for, so we'll do that. I had the flashlight on, my apologies. Sometimes when I'm getting screenshots or thumbnails, I turn the flashlight on to get a better glow on the thumbnail. And sometimes I leave it on, and I've just recently started doing that, so it's going to take me a minute to remember the fact that I've been using the flashlight, so my apologies. Wow, this is phenomenal. I'm absolutely in love with this. There's so much I want to talk about, but there's still so much yet to see. This perspective was kind of neat. Look at how the second train is coming in and like touching and reconnecting them, making one massively long train. I love that. I really do love that. So that's cool. Now for the next one, we definitely want to have that swing. So we're definitely going to ride this one in the seat view. And I'm just gonna ride the front of the train. Yeah, we're just gonna ride the front as intended. But there's a couple ways I want to see this yet. So I love everything about this. Okay, let's go. Look at all the trains going on back there. This is crazy. So I'm assuming it's just waiting for the front coaster to get to the top of the lift to build some speed between them. That's pretty cool. Okay, they did say it was built for night, and I don't really feel satisfied with the perspective that we had on the first train. So, which one is taken off? This one? What I like personally for these mine trains is the look forward at the back. That's my personal favorite, but we're also going to change it to nighttime now. Off we go. Let's check it out. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. I have so much I want to say about this, both good and a little bit of feedback, but I'm like 4 out of 5 in love with this. There's a few little flaws and things that I think could be improved, but I think this concept is a 10 out of 10, and I really happy to have stumbled across this creation here today. So let's talk about the good first of all. It looks aesthetically beautiful. I love this train station. The concept of combining 2 different stations with the regular train and then the swing bucket following up behind is just insanely cool concept. Not only that, but having enough block sections, brake sections and stuff throughout the ride so that you can add 5 trains for both of the tracks, and seeing how that they're basically the exact same coaster. You took one coaster layout, duplicated it, and then created a new boarding station so that they're pixel perfect on top of each other, and that's how that was accomplished. It is 2 coasters, 1 is duplicated. So I think that concept is so riveting. It's just amazing. The environment is really well done too. We have these transfer tracks over here, bits of realism. There's just so many little details with how the tracks shift in and out and how you would get it into here for maintenance. And I love the details along the environment, like these custom bridges up here as well. I think they look really sharp. I think the woodwork is incredible. The bridges down below. This was also really captivating. The water wheel there with this tower and the coaster going underneath. The way that the waterfalls go around there, and all the little openings where you see multiple coasters passing by is really incredible. Even this is custom supports. I really appreciate that. There is so much effort gone into the woodwork, the bridges, the environment, and just the rock work and painting and scenery. It's over the top. It's phenomenal. I love it, but it has me wanting more. And that's a positive. It's not a critique, but it is a desire of mine. I like everything I see here so much that I do want a sequel from Stevenn, and I hope Stevenn watches this and delivers on a sequel. The actual parts of this ride that I feel like could be improved on is the day-night sequencer for one. I think you could have done away with it. So what you guys saw there was like it would turn to night and then turn back to day. That is the day-night sequencer. So you usually use that so that when you go into a building, so if we go into a building like this, for example, in Planet Coaster, the light still bleeds through, right? This should be like a completely dark building because there's no way that light can get in here. But that's not how this game engine works. It just bleeds through. So inside of a building, you would turn it to night to make the room feel like there's no light bleeding in. And that's when you would use the day-night sequencer. Now, there is one exception to the rule with how lighting works in this game. The lighting will not pass through terrain. So if I can find a cave, I saw a few, yeah, like here. See that? The light isn't coming through. It's somewhat coming through, but that's because it's bouncing through here. This opening here is creating light. The light is getting in, and it also depends on how thin the terrain is. So little bits of light can seep in here because the surface is not too far off from us, and there's a lot of holes where the light can get in. That being said, it's pretty dark in these caves already, to a point where you don't really need to turn it to night. And if you wanted it to be completely dark, you could have just made your cave systems larger. The only time you would actually turn it to night is if you faked your cave systems without terrain and used rocks, right? Used the rocks for that terrain. So the day-night sequencer was jarring because as we were coming out, we could literally see the day changing from night to day, and it was a little bit immersion breaking. And the reason that was happening is because the transitions were so short. The caves were too small. With that being said, I think you could have just not used the day-night sequencer at all. It still would have been dark when we went deep into some of those caves, or it would have been a little bit dimmer at times. And when you were completely blackout, you changed it to night and we were in a cave, it was completely pitch black, and it would have been good to see a few miner's lights. You know, just a few little ambient things to make the cave systems more intricate and immersive. The day-night sequencer for me threw it way off. It was just the sun was constantly spinning in orbit. So I don't think it was that necessary. So all of that feedback, I would wrap it into wanting a sequel. I think the cave systems could have been more intricate. They could have gone deeper. There could have been more of that staglamite cave systems with miners actually mining things and doing stuff. We could have had some underwater oasis inside of caves, like going across bridges and little ponds in and underground, you know, some bats and different things like that. There's a lot to explore underground. And if we spent more time under there, the deeper we go, we don't need a sequencer. And in the case that we go really deep and we do need a sequencer because still there's too much light, if the cave system was vast, you would have a lot of time to keep the lights off and then turn the sequencer on early before we look outside so that the sun is already shining through as we're looking up and coming out of the cave system, if that makes sense. All that being said, I think this idea is so phenomenal having the 10 trains. Just look at this. As I've been talking and watching, there's all these trains just doing amazing amounts of movement. And I really think that's something truly special that I've never ever seen in over 1,000 episodes of Coaster Spotlight. So it has me wanting more. Looking at the actual track itself, it's I can understand that the concept was really hard to grasp. Therefore, the track was meant to be a little bit on the simple side. So the coaster kind of goes back and forth, figure eights, spins around, comes back around. There aren't any massive sweeping banking turns going around a canyon or looking off a canyon where there's, you know, some scare moments. A swinging mine train can swing as it's coming around and almost doing an outward bank around a big cliffside. And yeah, so I'm just saying, like, everything I see here is awesome, and it would be like mind-blowing if you scaled it up, right? Where this times 10 on a giant cliffside, mountaintops, if we look at the actual height of everything and we're looking at a big mountain, you can have trains weaving down and around the mountain with giant bridges and canyons where bridges are going up and across and down and below and across, riding the sides of the canyon while two are crossing over. There's so many like intersections and crossway points that you can make with a train system, a train network on the side of a canyon, in between canyons, on cliff sides. If you were to just imagine this concept scaled up and then having 10 or more coasters on it at all times, almost every single scare moment and extreme moment, there's going to be a whole bunch of interactions with other mine trains along the way. So not to take away anything from this, in fact, it it is the opposite of that. It's me complimenting how good this is that it's left me wanting more, and how can we push the extremes of this concept even further. Now, if that never happens and Stevenn doesn't want to take this idea and amp it up, I still think that this creation, for me, like I said, it's like a 4 to 5 because of the sequencer was just flashing day to night, and we saw that sun orbiting too much. So fix that little issue, and for me, this is a 5 out of 5, not only because of the concept, but the actual coaster experience was in fact fun. Even though I want to see an amped up extreme version, I think this is one of the best Mine Train coasters that I've ridden in a very, very long time, and it's aesthetically beautiful, like I pointed out early on. All that being said, to wrap it all up, I want to see a 2.0. I would love to see another rendition of this, or you could turn what you have already that's done so well, and then you can build, this is like the entrance to your park or whatever. You could just build off of this. So this is version 1, and then you can make some massive, massive mountains behind it. So this is layer 1, and then up above, there's even a bigger one, right? and just go as high as you can go and build some crazy cliffs. That way, if you did a version 2, we would still have that running in the background, and I think that's a crazy cool idea. But that's just me. I see an idea that I've never seen before, and I'm very inspired by it, and I love the way it looks. And Stevenn did it right, so he would be the person to do it right again, and that would be my happy little request to see a part 2 or an addition to what's already been done here. I love it. I love the aesthetics of it all. Let's go Planet Bluegrass on the next one and go super extreme, and you're gonna get a guaranteed right away feature from me, Stevenn. You message me on Discord when that's done if you do it. And you're at the front of the line, because this is awe-inspiring. Loved everything about it. So what do you guys think? Do you agree? Did you like it just the way it was? Do you think there's a need for a sequel? Would you love to see a sequel like me? Fire away down in the comments below. But for me, this was a really, really fun experience, and has me excited and giddy to see more concepts done to this quality level in the future. So great job, Stevenn. Absolutely great job. What a great concept. Innovative. Here we are, 1,000 spotlights in, 7 years in, and people are still coming up with new, never before seen ideas. And that just shows how great of a game Planet Coaster truly is. So wonderful job on this one here today. Stevenn with Rough Rock Mine Train. What did you guys think? Fire away down in the comments below. And that is going to do it for me in today's episode of Coaster Spotlight. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. Bye now.